So tonight, we're going to talk about AI. Jordan, one of the guys who's helped us out from time to time, did maybe about a year or so ago, did a presentation on using AI. And I thought I would just do it again. It just, I keep hearing people week after week talk about how do you write a cover letter, or, I get stuck on this, and how do you deal with the keywords that are in the applicant tracking system and stuff. So AI can help you answer all this. So what I'm doing tonight is a very rudimentary presentation. It's not rudimentary, but it's very front or entry level as far as artificial intelligence goes. Okay. So if you hear this presentation tonight and understand some of what I'm doing, that does not make you an artificial intelligence expert. So I don't want you telling your friends and your colleagues that, yeah, I learned everything there is about AI last night. But it's working. It gives you an opportunity to see some of the things that you can do for AI and hopefully give you a level of comfort when you're at home and you're worried about something as far as your job search goes, or, is my resume okay? Is my cover letter, does it stink? And all those insecurities that go through our heads when we're applying for a job. And what can I do? How do I network? How can I find people that work in this organization? So a lot of what those concerns you have can be filled or answered with AI. And so that's why I thought it really helpful to try and do this. That I'm aware of, the two most common AI platforms today are ChatGPT, which everybody's probably heard of, and then Microsoft's Copilot. Then there are multiple others. Google's starting one. I haven't tried it out yet, so I don't know what it's like. But ChatGPT is kind of the number one, the top dog in consumer use of AI, and maybe even more developed. So you can either do it on a laptop or a desktop, regular web browser, and you go to chatgpt.com, or you can have the app on your phone and do the work through that. And that's the icon if you go look for it on your phone. Copilot's if you want a kind of a second opinion, you can take the same question, go to Copilot. Some of it may be similar, some of it may be completely different. You might want to have it write a cover letter on Copilot, and have it write a cover letter on ChatGPT, and merge the best of it. So I'm just using ChatGPT tonight, just because it seemed to be a little stronger and give me creative ideas for this. So how can you use AI? The whole gambit as far as your job search goes. The resume and the cover letter, keep making it better and better. Your job search strategy, and we'll get into some examples on this. Interview preparation, which always gives everybody the willies to start getting ready for an interview the next day. What do I do? Skills gap, where this job posting might say you need this, and you look at what you have and say, well, how can I marry them? How can I bring them together? And then certainly networking help. Networking, again, is the core to finding a job pretty much these days. Okay, so here we get into some examples now of each of those pieces that I just talked about. Resume and cover letter optimization. So these bullets and this information now is pulled directly from ChatGPT. I said, how can I use AI to work on my resume and my cover letter? So these are the responses that it brought back, and I loved them. I mean, I just thought, they were just, so I didn't even have to, I didn't have to imagine all these pieces. I let AI do a lot of the work, and then I just synthesized what I thought would be appropriate for this audience. Some people say, oh, well, that's plagiarism. And some people say, well, that's using the tools that you've got available to you. I'm not misrepresenting anything. I'm not making any money off of, having used this, and I don't think anybody's going to be upset that I used one of the most significant AI platforms in the world to help give you guys some exposure to AI. So you can use it to help your resume and cover letters for specific job descriptions, and we'll kind of we'll get into an example on that. The ATS optimization, the applicant tracking system. They talk about all the keywords that are in a job posting on an applicant tracking system like Indeed, right? And so you've got to, they recommend that you get as many of those keywords into your resume and your cover letter as you possibly can, because when you feed it all through the system, then there'll be all sorts of alarms and bells and wonderful things that go off to say, hey, this is the person. So they gave me the tip: paste the job description into ChatGPT and ask the system to rewrite my resume summary to match this job opening, right? And so it's not, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's getting a second opinion. It's no different than calling someone, getting help from someone on the volunteer list to help you. Also, don't hesitate to stop me. If you have a question or something like that, feel free. Job search. Okay, I learned some new platforms here. The AI job boards. There's some tools, I didn't get into these, but Teal and Resi and Loop CV, which they use AI to auto apply and to find job matches for you. And this video with all these slides will be posted pretty quickly, next day or two. You can have ChatGPT generate a list of potential roles based on your skills and interests. So pump your resume in and say, hey, here's my resume, and I'll show you about how to pump that in. And say, what are some of the jobs? What are some openings that might fit my skill set? Say the hint here is, what are 10 companies hiring remote marketing roles in the wellness space, right? And it'll come back with its best guess. And something I'll mention again later on too. If you really don't feel comfortable with the initial answer that you get from a query, I can never remember the right word, but when you ask the AI a question and you really don't like it, then keep going. Ask it in a different way, or it'll prompt you for, did you mean this or did you mean that? And so it'll help you just dig down until you find the answer that feels right. And all this takes minutes, maybe. I mean, it's not like you're sitting at the computer for an hour. If you're concentrating on what you want to do and what you're looking, the answer, the solution you're looking, the problem you're looking for a solution for, it doesn't take all that long to do this. And it's just some great information. Interview prep, right? The interview. The big deal is, it can help you with mock interviews. And if you don't know how to do it, say, okay, ChatGPT, how can I do a mock interview with you? And it'll tell you, it'll give you step-by-step instructions on how to do a mock interview. And then it'll probably give you feedback on your interview, right? Tell you how you could do better. Like, you said 315 times in this 30-minute interview. So you may want to work on that. And things like that. You got money. ChatGPT to generate common questions for a job title. One of my things is, okay, ChatGPT, tell me, what are the 10 most difficult interview questions? And it'll list 10. Then you pick out one and say, ChatGPT, how do I answer this question that says, tell me about yourself? Or what is your biggest weakness? That's one that everybody always loves to get, is what is your biggest weakness? So ask ChatGPT to help you out there. And then have AI give you suggested responses. Okay, so here's the tip here. Give me 5 behavioral interview questions for a product manager role and help me answer them using STAR. Okay, and STAR we talked about here. Who remembers what STAR is? Help me. Situation,
Task.
situation, task, action, and result. Okay, that's a standard acronym that I think a dozen of the speakers here over the years have used. That is telling stories. When you're in an interview, is tell a story and use this acronym as kind of an outline in your mind of how you answer a question by telling a story, telling what the situation is. So, but what? Pardon me. Situation, task, action, and result. Right. So, how did you solve a problem? and you can put in, this is what happened and this is what I did, and ChatGPT might give you some different ways to answer it. If you're tired of the way you've been answering it or just don't know how to verbalize it, it'll help you. Okay, let AI assess your gaps. So if you've got a tech job, for example, that looks really appealing, you can pump your resume in, pump the job description, and tell me where do I miss the mark on this job application? Where can I, what do I need? And it might come back with like, these 3 certifications would probably help you out. Okay, ChatGPT, where do I get this Microsoft certification? Where can I get it for free? Right? So you can just keep using it to get to a solution that might work for you. The prompt example, and a prompt is the background and the question that you're asking an AI platform. Okay, I want to pivot into data analytics. What top 3 skills should I learn? And what free online courses can I start with? See, it already knew what I was going to say. So these are I'm just trying to give you ideas on perspective on how to approach solving the challenge you have for this session. Networking, right? Here we go. Write personalized LinkedIn connection messages. So you can put in maybe some information about the person you want to contact, put in some information about you, maybe the summary from your resume that AI has helped you create a really slick summary, and put them in and say, okay, how do I message this person? What is a good 3-sentence intro that I can give this person to make them want to communicate with me? Draft outreach emails to people at your dream companies. AI, what are my dream companies? And then who do I approach at these dream companies? And just, it's the drafting the outreach emails is the same concept as writing the cover letters, right? It'll help you give you some content to help, and it'll prepare you for informational interviews. Really just kind of a coffee where you're just talking to someone, visiting with them, maybe learning some stuff, maybe just meeting someone. That's the prompt here. Write a casual LinkedIn message to a UX designer at Spotify asking for a quick 15-minute chat about their career path. How did you make it? People love to talk about themselves. So just, you buy them a coffee and just wind them up and they'll just go. And, because all of a sudden they're respected for what they've accomplished, and you're respecting them. Hey, are there any little jewels of wisdom in your career path that I might be able to benefit from? Okay, so we'll get into some specifics here. So what you do is when you're actually getting into AI, you can paste or upload your resume, and we'll go through this in a minute. Share a job description, and then ask AI whatever you're looking for. So one example might be, okay, improve the sections of my resume and improve my executive summary so that it looks a little better when it's read in context of this job posting. this job description. So how can I adjust my summary to make it more appealing and catch someone's eye for this, this job posting? Or again, ask AI to write a cover letter to go with your resume and the job description.
Copy and paste.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Job description.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. And we'll do it. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, you work with, you work one application at a time. And so here are some examples. Here's my current resume. Just enter the prompt. Here's my current resume, ChatGPT. Can you improve my professional summary? Rewrite my summary to align with the project manager role in tech. Make it concise and results focused. Can you improve my work experience sections? Rephrase this work experience to highlight achievements and use metrics, right? And so it'll glean from what you presented and come back with something that'll make it maybe more attractive to the reader. And the skills section will give you, after you feed in your resume, what skills should I add to my resume for a data analyst role based on this job description? And it'll come back with a list of skills, and you can choose from that list, what skills do you really have? Okay, word to the wise before we get into examples. Use the content ideas that are provided by AI, but make sure you rewrite the information in a style that fits you, okay? Because you don't want to just copy and paste whatever ChatGPT gives you for your summary on your resume, just because you could very easily get caught and that it wasn't you, right? So ChatGPT can give you great ideas, but it's your responsibility to make sure that what you represent is you. Again, like I said earlier, if the response it gives you on the first or second dive isn't there, just keep going. Okay, what am I missing? What do I need to ask it to try and get more closer to what I need help with? Okay, and we're going to get into an example, but anybody have questions at this point? I know I talk fast, so the Yankee in me. Feel free to contact me on any of the things afterwards if you have questions or thoughts. All right, so go from here. Let me see, I need that. Get my tools ready. Oh wait, no, I don't need that. Okay. Okay, where's my resume? Oh wait, no, I need this. All right. So all right, so I'm going to load ChatGPT from a browser. Okay, and now I wrote this beforehand, so I'll give you a chance to read it, but I'm not. So it says, I'm applying for a marketing manager position with a digital advertising agency. The job description is attached. I have over 10 years experience with designing marketing strategies for a consumer product company and a SaaS platform. Please write a cover letter to apply to this position, right? So I got my question in. I'm going to go to the attach. With ChatGPT, if you're going to attach something, you do have to have an account, but it's all free. I just set this up about 2 hours ago. I don't think that's one I had. Let's see if it works. Nah, that's not it. Advertising a lot, and there are a lot of paid subscriptions. Oh, I know. Save it. There's my password. If that works. There it is. Okay. So now I needed to log in first. So, no. Go back, get my question. All right. So is this, there we are. Oh, I'll get rid of this. All right, so there's my prompt. Now I'm gonna load in the job description that and what I did, instead of pasting it, I saved the job description to a Word file. Just it would seem easier to me. And then it's sitting there on my hard drive, marketing manager job description. I pulled this off of Indeed today, this job description. Okay. So it's in there. I've got my prompt. I've explained given a background, what I'm looking for, and told it what I want. I want a cover letter. So it starts to give you the format. It even goes so far as to give you a format of all the pieces you should. And here's your answer. You all see that? So I mean, it's that easy to get it. Now, what I would do with this personally is I would take this content, I would copy it back to a Word document, and then start massaging it. Number one, my initial impression is this cover letter is too long, right? So for me, it's too long. So I would start cutting it back to a little more, less fluffy. But then again, marketing roles, quite often being able to write flowery content might be one of the things that they're looking for, is someone who can fill some space. But this is, I always got stuck on cover letters. I hate cover letters. And this is a great way to get started and give you some great ideas. And then all I have to do is fit it to me, to my style, to the points that I think are important, maybe add 1 or 2 points. What I could do is I could go over to Microsoft Copilot right now and go through the exact same process and see what letter Microsoft came up with. And then compare the two and come up with the best of both worlds. Who has an example? Who wants me to do something?
Is it possible to take that copy until ask it to shorten it?
Okay. Be polite with the system. Even that typo. Absolutely. Okay. Great idea, JD. Thank you. Absolutely. Here's a more concise version of the cover letter, about 2/3 the original length, while keeping the core message and the tone intact. And it's telling us this, right? I mean, this is where it's come to. So look at it. It's down to, it's still 3 paragraphs, but they're much shorter paragraphs.
Third longer than that?
Well, you can do it. You could do any derivation on that line then. You can. I mean, that's, you know, you've given it a place to start and it starts doing its stuff, and then you do the derivations. What the one example, what are the top 10 companies that are hiring human resources professionals in Middle Tennessee? Okay, so it can't exactly. Yeah, it's not specifically answering my question, but okay, so now, so is HCA Healthcare? Let's just say HR professionals right now. Okay. So I was saying, hey, I can't do that. I can't get into that private database, that private website, but here are some ideas on how you can. What, questions? Give me some questions. Give me some ideas. What difficulty is someone having right now, other than me?
Scott, this is John. I've
Hey,
put in the job description in my resume, and then I've asked ChatGPT, why would I be a good candidate for this position? And then I use that information in that cover letter. You know, then I ask it to put it into a cover letter and add it with my resume.
so how close do you think the result is to something you would feel comfortable sending out?
There are some things that it adds that aren't in my resume, and I just filter that out. It's
Okay.
10-15% maybe at the most.
You filtered out 15% or you used 15%?
Well, it'll say things that might be common to the job description
Okay.
that
Yeah.
aren't in my tool bag.
Okay. Yeah. And this is what I
So
said,
I
you got to
will,
read. Apply it to you. Did it give you some ideas on how to represent yourself?
right, and it'll go through it. It tells you these are your strong areas, these are your weak areas, um, and then these are some you might want to add these keywords.
Okay.
So
There's the
it
keyword thing to pass the applicant tracking system. And also it said, hey, here's some of your weaknesses, right? So it might
right,
give you an idea of, okay, if you've got a list of 3 or 4 weaknesses it picked up, it gives you a pick one of those, and that's your stock answer when someone asks, what's your weakness? One that you can answer that well. And or you can keep attaching to the resume and said, how do I explain my weakness is, or if I say my weakness is talks too much, how would I tell the person about that in an interview and what I'm trying to do to correct it. Right? And so instead of you coming up with which is your weakness, because it's always a hard, you know, I know my real weaknesses, but I don't want to confess any of them. So it's, you know, so it can help give you some ideas to help you through the process. What else?
I just put
All
something in the
right.
chat.
Okay, what?
I put something in the chat. If somebody's
Okay.
retired and just looking for some part-time work from home in the Middle Tennessee area,
Uh-huh.
how do you use Chat GBT to get information about that?
Okay, let me see. Let me go find the chat. Oh, wait, I gotta stop sharing it, or maybe not. Okay, there she is. Okay, here we go. Let me copy that. Put it in here and say, okay. I am semi-retired and looking for, oops, part-time work from home. What kind of field? What kind of job? Can you give any idea what would be the ideal job or
IT
ideal
work, not programming.
IT work?
Yeah, project management, that type of thing.
Well, I'm going to leave that typo in there. Let's make it appeal. So it's come back with some job boards for part-time tech roles. Or if someone's working in tech and needs some part-time extra work for their full-time job, same thing. And then keywords used in the searches tells you exactly what it put together from that prompt to find these solutions.
I love it. Thank you.
And then here's the bonus tip. Update or highlight your LinkedIn profile, right? To highlight your background. Certifications. Here it gives you some ideas on certifications if you want to start getting some new certifications. And says, okay, now do you want help writing a short personal pitch for this new phase of your life? What else? What other ideas you have?
My hack was to
Oh, yeah.
ask it to use the company's core values.
Okay.
Because it'll go out there. It'll bring
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I know. This is my ex-employer. See if it. Okay.
I was actually doing some thank you notes. My company's core values, and it gave me ideas. I didn't use it verbatim, but
So
out of that brain freeze, you know what I'm saying?
did you put in the core values or did you send it out to search for them?
No, I took the company's name.
Okay. Okay, so that's what I've done here.
Core values, if I
Okay, that's right. SMS Holdings is the company I put in here. I used to work there, and I love the core value concept that they had. With SMS Holdings core values: integrity, innovation, excellence, teamwork, accountability, right? And so they fed them into that same, right? Because and what I did was I said use SMS core values in the aforementioned cover letter. So the cover letter that I had it write, 15 minutes ago, it's, I referenced it back to that cover letter. And since I hadn't closed out, if I closed out my browser, it might have forgotten. But since I hadn't closed out the browser, it's keeping everything going. And so 15 minutes later, I had this great idea suggested to me, and bam, it expanded the cover letter for me with a great idea.
All of this in your account is after you set up an account?
That I don't know. Zane, do you happen to know? I mean,
Depends if you set up an account.
okay.
You said you couldn't type something in without an account anyway.
No, I wasn't able to upload a document. Yeah, no, I could have done queries all the time. I've been using ChatGPT, and I've been using Copilot for months and months and months, and never had to have an account. But I've never tried to upload a document. Right. Tonight I uploaded a job description, but that's where it kicked in. But it was a free account. It took me an extra 3 minutes to set up an account. So that maybe it's saving that there.
Was that just kind of hit or miss then?
What?
Do or not to set up an account? Would you recommend not?
I'm not sure it matters anymore with AI because it already knows who you are and what you're doing and what's going on. So it probably didn't, if you forget something about yourself, AI, what was I thinking 3 days ago? Does it? Okay.
Yeah, I don't touch.
That makes sense. It was saying Copilot does time you out for the people that can't hear us here. What else? And you don't have to have anything, but if there's anything, right now that's going on.
So what about if you're hesitant in sharing your information? Because it's going to remember, like you said, they're going to remember everything you're typing.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to start getting all these feeds. Is that just something you just got to overcome?
You don't want to be getting all these what? What'd you say,
like
feed?
Yeah, the feed information coming to your feed based on what you're searching and asking.
Okay. Well, if you don't want to be known on the internet, stay off the internet. Really.
Yeah.
And chances are it already knows all that about you anyway. So,
right.
You don't put your social security number in, don't put your bank, when I collect, I pay people, so I have to get their information, their banking information sometimes. I have them send an account number one way and their bank information the other way. One texting, one email, one, if you want to put it in a PDF, do it one, just send it 2 different ways for real confidential information. But, most of the systems already know who you are and what your social security number is and your address and your home phone and how many kids you have. And
I did just have a job application that wanted my full social security number, my address, and everything. This is a really strange question to ask when it's not for defense or any. It's not government. It was for South.
it's just because that's all the information they always have. Because then they've already got it. Well, you're going to have to. Yeah, it does. But that's kind of, where we are. If you don't like their terms, then you go apply somewhere else. Is the idea. Anything else? Okay. So that's me. Again, feel free to ideas, or if you have a question, ask ChatGPT what the answer is. and then start your query. Yeah, in the next couple days. Yeah, I'll finish the recording tonight and send it to Jay, and he'll. So
And can you have it send you the searches if you typed in a bunch of different questions?
I don't know. Let's go see. Hang on, let me.
Because I just used it and I want to send it to a friend. But I guess I could copy and paste it to a Word doc like you're saying.
That's what I've always done, but let's go see.
Yeah, also
Yeah.
on the left under today, on the left side of the browser, it has
Okay.
today what you've worked
Okay.
on. So if you come back to
Oh,
it
look at that.
later, you'll have a running index of the things that you've been working on the left. And then
Okay,
so
that's
he
what
he
there's
started
the
with the
archive button, and
yeah.
then let's see what the share button does. Share public link, your name there. Create link. Let's do. Allow it to be shown in web searches. And that's not what I want. So let's see. Or does it? If I do Alt A, does it do? Yeah. If I do alternate A, the Alt key and A, it has copied this whole session tonight. I can just copy it and stick it in a Word document for one way. That way you know for sure where it is. And let's see, what does archive do? Here, let me get rid of it.
Hey Scott, this is Georgia. I just was playing around with mine, and if you click under the like archive where it says today, and yeah, the three,
Okay.
see where it says share?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, click share. It looks like it creates a URL to share it. I guess whoever you share it with probably has to have the program too to view it.
Okay.
But looks like that lets you share top.
Okay. So yeah, so that's it's storing this on I guess on their servers, and here's the link to it, and so I can share it. Oh, there's sharing that. So what if I wanna? So I copy the link. If I want to go over to my email, stop sharing. Go over to my email. I don't think I've got turned on. I hope nobody's emailed me nasty stuff. Okay. Come on. There's a link. Let me send it. No, I'm not going to log into that other one. Check it here on my phone for a minute. See if it emails that link and see what that link does. Never mind. I'll go ahead. Are you seeing this? Oh no, you're not sharing. Not yet. Okay, so here we go. Let's. So I just emailed that link to myself. And here's the email. You seeing this? Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. Here, let me get back. Okay, so there's the email. Open it up. There's the link. There's the whole, click the whole conversation. Yep, the whole conversation we just did is there in that archive, and Send yourself the link, or you can send somebody else the link. Thank you, Georgia.
No worries. We're
I
working.
put an email. When I created the archive, it saved it to the ChatGPT server and gave me a URL. I copied that URL and then emailed it to myself. And that's how you share. Okay. Or you, like I said, you just copy the whole thing while you're in the session. Yes. What? Questions, other thoughts? Yeah, this is where it created the link when I did the archive option. Am I here?
To do that, though?
Yes, I'm sure you do. Well, again, but it's a free account. Yeah, no, you really don't. I don't know. It may have been.
Any reason not?
I signed up something today that it did ask me for my birth date, and I could feel my computer laughing at me. But
Well, but then too, something if a website asks you birthday.
yeah, you know.
It's just a website.
Yeah, I mean, it's like all the dating websites, right? Where you-
Yeah. Oh, forever be-
Other questions, other thoughts? Well, we'll let you go, folks.
Everybody. Still going on?
Yeah, there's still a lot going on. It's really easy. It's really easy, and you can't mess it up. So use it to help you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
See you again, Jay.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, everybody.
Welcome. Thank you. Bye. He's escaping.